tuning in our forum. My name is NAFE and I will be your moderator for this forum. Today we are going to be having a great discussion on technology and how it has affected people creativity. Before we dive in, let me introduce you to our great panel that will be leading this forum. So for the first, Sofiyyah, as a student from KKTM Ledang, Nadzrah, as a mother of two boys in high school, DANIA RAFEEQA, a teacher at Sekolah Menengah Sultan Abdul Halim, and ADRIANE as an employer at ADRIANE Sdn Bhd, as a ZUHAILY as a tech developer at Nanosoft Sdn Bhd. In today's world, the advancement of technology has left a massive impact on our life, especially students, whether it be for a better or worse. With a recent tool such as artificial intelligence or AI at our fingertips, anything is possible now by just entering a prompt. While some say technology inspires creativity and granting their access to endless resources, others believe it makes students too dependent on it and less original. We will explore both sides of the argument and see how technology is shaping creativity in our society. So, for the first question, without further ado, let's begin asking our members of panel the opening question: is technology affecting our student creativity? Sofiyyah.
Thank you to the moderator for the question. So I, as the student representative, will talk about is creativity affecting students' creativity. So as a student, I feel technology has given me many new ways to be creative. I can design posters, edit videos, or even make musics more easily using different apps, things that will be very difficult with just pens and papers. At the same time, I admit it is easy to depend too much on the internet and copy ideas instead of thinking on my own. For me, technology is like a double-edged sword because it can inspire creativity if we use it wisely, but it can also make us lazy if we only use it to finish our tasks faster.
So for me as a parent, I see both positive and negative because technology helps my children to learn new skills and also explore new ideas quickly. But I also noticed that they rely on it too much, and instead of searching and experimenting on their own, they often search it online right away. Meaning that they often, if they are given tasks, they often use AI right away. So it's keeping the trial and error process which make them more creative. So while technology provides resources, it also makes them more dependent. And I do believe that creativity comes from effort and patience, not just from quick answers. That's why balance in technology is so important in how students use technology.
For me as a teacher, I'd say yes, as I see the effects day to day when asked questions regarding their opinions or solve some high-order thinking skills of students. So these questions require students to think outside the box, which is a crucial skill in life. In my opinion, the excessive usage of technology could hinder the development of the students' growth and ultimately making them uncreative.
As an employer, I often interview fresh graduates from multiple universities, and I've noticed many of them rely too much on AI and ready-made templates. When I ask about some ideas on solving problems, most of them have difficulties to solve the problems without their device. This proves that technology is indeed affecting students' creativity. Students can come up with their own original ideas and struggle with critical thinking.
Okay, as the lead tech developer at my company, I've seen technology used in various different ways, whether it be to further define our ideas and leading to an innovative product, or it can be used lazily to just get the job done. So if you're asking for my opinion, I would say technology is not inherently bad or good, and it's completely reliant on the user's creativity itself. If the person has no creativity when they're using this technology, then it will only produce an uninspiring product.
Thank you all for sharing your perspective on this question. Now I would like to dive deeper into this discussion by asking each of you a few questions. So for the first question will be toward first panel, which is Sofiyyah. As a student, do you think students today will still be creative without technology, or has it already become too important in daily learning?
Thank you for the question. I think that's a great question. In my opinion, I think students can still be creative without technology, but it definitely takes more effort. For example, we can draw, write stories, or build things with our hands, which will train imagination in a natural way. The problem is, many students are so used to fast results with the technology that they lose patience when working the traditional way. For me, creativity should not depend only on gadgets. Technology should be there to support and improve our ideas, but the real creativity has to start from us.
How do you personally balance between using technology and using traditional method?
Personally, I think one way to balance it is to give ourselves time away from technology. When we are always on gadgets, our minds are too occupied and we don't give ourselves space to imagine. Sometimes when I put my phone or laptop aside, I feel a kind of empty moment, like there is a gap with nothing to do. At first, it feels boring, but then my brain starts to look for ways to fill the gap. I might begin to draw, write, or even daydream, or think of new ideas that wouldn't have thought of if I was busy scrolling phones. That boredom becomes useful because it pushes me to imagine and create things on my own. For me, this shows that stepping back from technology can actually refresh our creativity instead of reducing it.
Okay, for last question, I would like to look at you. Do you have any advice to your friend that use technology to finish the task quickly instead of exploring ideas?
In honesty, of course, there's always students that would use AI to finish their task quickly. But if I were to give an advice to my friends, I would say technology should not only be used to finish tasks quickly, but also as a tool to explore ideas. If we only rush to complete assignments, we miss the chance to be creative and learn new things. For example, instead of just copying a template, we could try customizing it in our own style. Technologies give us so many features that allows us to experiment, like editing tools, design apps, or even coding platform. By exploring, we can discover our strengths and maybe even hidden talents. Of course, if the task comes with a short due date, it's understandable that to use technology for speed. But we should still add at least a small touch of our own creativity. That way, the work is not only fast but also original.
Thank you very much for your answer. Sofiyyah, next I would like to ask Miss Umi, what are the biggest struggles you face at home regarding technology?
Okay, so for me as parents, the hardest thing is managing child screen time because we have set rules like no phones or during gathering, dinner or family time, and only set the limit for 2 hours a day. But it doesn't always work because if we ask our kids to put their phone down, it can turn into an argument or sometimes even tears. And we as parents are not against technology, but we feel like they are missing out on other things like reading, outdoor play, or simple family time. And at home, it often feels like a daily negotiation with our children.
I understand that. It must be really stressful. Do you think this is something parents should handle alone, or the school also play a role into it?
I don't think it's only parents' job, because we have tried different things such as parental controls, encouraging hobbies, and also family activities, but the phone always ring. That's why I feel like schools and communities should step in too. And if schools are organizing more engaging and non-digital activities, kids are more likely to take part. And sometimes, when it comes from parents, children resist to follow, actually. But if it comes from teachers or maybe friends, they tend to listen in.
Another concern we often hear from parents is about children attention span. Has technology affected your children, and how do you deal with it?
Okay, so obviously it definitely has, and I have noticed that my children's attention span become much shorter. As for example, when they try to do their homeworks or help with chores, they lose focus quickly compared to when they are on their gadgets. Technology has made everything so fast and entertaining that staying focused on longer tasks feels like a struggle to them. And to deal with it, I try to set small goals for them and also encouraging hands-on activities like cooking or gardening, because these naturally require patience and focus in these activities. And I believe it's not easy for us to guide children step by step to strengthen their attention span and balance technology use with real-world activities. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you for the talk, Ms. Umi. Continuing on Ms. Dania, what is your thought as an educator on uses of technology in education?
From my perspective, technology is highly encouraged in education as a teaching tool for students. It has its benefits, the information being much more accessible at the tip of your fingers, an easier teaching method, and creates a more engaging environment. Compared to back then, information needed to be searched in libraries from physical sources like books, articles, and newspapers. However, I would say that technology has its own drawbacks when it is used incorrectly or excessively.
That's quite interesting. Could you tell me what are the cons of technology uses in education to students?
From my point of view, students nowadays lack originality in their writing. This refers to plagiarism being a much more common method among students. When talking about plagiarism, it is very different from referencing an idea or a quote, because students are expanding their idea in their own methods. Students do it because it is easy to plagiarize, with just searching the topic onto a search engine and copy-paste it into submit as their own work. Which relates to my next point, that students have problem communicating their own ideas. They lack creativity due to less knowledge gained by not reading instead. Creative writing is the writer to know a lot to write proper essay. The reading doesn't even have to be only from research paper. Even fiction books are a good source of material.
Okay, Ms. Dania, what are some ways that teachers or school do to prevent the student from becoming uncreative?
I would say that we as teachers need to encourage students to read more by hosting reading programs where students will have to conclude the whole book and give thoughts on their opinion of the book. The school could also provide a larger variety of books in the library so students can expand their field of knowledge. The library could also hold Nilam, which is a program that the student with the highest amount of read and borrowed books in the library can earn prizes. Our site can be only become a stepping zone as the students themselves need to realize the importance of knowledge in their life, because we cannot force it upon them.
Thank you, Ms. Dania, for your answer. Let's move to our next panel, Ms. Hana. Ms. Hana, as an employer, what is your opinion on workers that often use AI as their work companion?
In my opinion, it is great for employees to use AI for polishing ideas or repetitive tasks. But the main thinking should come from the employees themselves. In this competitive industry, we expect employees to produce more new and creative ideas to escalate the productivity of our company. If every employee uses AI in all their work, the results end up looking the same and we are not able to keep up with bigger competitors.
Okay, I understand your perspective. If employees keep on using AI in their work, will there be a problem in the long run?
Yes, the employees who relies too much on AI will lower their creativity in their work. For example, in terms of adaptability in real work-life situation. In some cases, there will be problems such as Wi-Fi crashes, file corrupted, or system down. If employees rely too much on AI, they will freeze in those situations and they don't know how to continue their work. While the best employees are people who can improvise and keep going, even only with a pen and a paper. So, for me, technology isn't the problem. And a smart employees will know how to use the technology wisely.
Thank you. As an employer, how can you ensure your employees doesn't depend too much on AI?
As an employer, I will assign challenging tasks, especially to the new ones. Tasks that require real thinking and decision making instead of relying on AI-generated results. For example, instead of asking them to summarize using AI, I will let them analyze and present their own understanding. I will then gradually increase the complexity of tasks to help polish their brain, strengthen problem-solving skills, and build confidence in their own abilities. Other than that, I will conduct workshops every 6 months to focus on creativity, critical thinking, and teamwork without depending on AI tools. This will include group discussion, case studies, and real-life problem-solving sessions to enhance their listening and collaboration skills. This helps employees stay sharp, innovative, and independent thinkers even in an AI-driven environment.
Thank you, Hana. Last but not least, let's hear from our expert in tech development, Mr. AZRUL. You say technology can be both helpful and harmful, depending on the creativity of the user. From your point of view, can technology ever truly replicate human creativity in their work?
If you're asking for my perspective, then I would say absolutely not. Because technology nor AI would ever be able to replace human creativity, as it is the human mind that is responsible for even creating AI in the first place. The way how AI works is that it analyzes patterns, collects data, and traces instances of art, writing, or music that is created by humans, and regurgitating that information as the prompt that we asked it for. So, from my view, I would say not in a million years I would ever be able to replace a human, because technology can imitate, it can take inspiration, but it can never truly innovate or create new ideas. And technology will always evolve, but it is the human mind that carves the path. And as long as we hold on to what makes us human, then technology could never replace us.
Oh, such a great speech. Okay. Thank you. It's very brilliant answer, Mr. AZRUL. As important as it is to stay creative in this technology-driven world, what skill needs students need to maintain their creativity?
Well, for me, I think the important things for students to train in this new technology-driven world is the critical thinking skills. because technology is always advancing. So students must be able to catch up. And the ability to think outside the box for a student is very valuable, as you can come up with ideas that not even AI could ever dream of. As all the solutions that AI has given up to now have all been originally human ideas. So if we could one-up AI, then I would see that the future will be brighter for all of us. Now, for this, besides that, I think students should also be able to collaborate ideas from outside sources. For example, my company, Nadzrah, has combined two different fields, which is technology and medicine, in order to invent a virtual reality simulation for surgery. So, from this technology, medical students are able to perform simulations and simulate real-life scenarios without ever actually putting the risk of others or themselves in the first place. So, what I'm trying to say here is, I think students should be able to take inspiration from many different sources and combine it into their own unique idea. I think that's all.
Thank you so much for your opinion, Mr. AZRUL. Lastly, for our biggest tech developer, how can we ensure future innovation in technology continue to inspire, not replace human creativity?
Well, I think it really depends on how we use technology in education. Nipping the source from the bud, if we rely on it just to make things easier or to get instant answers, then yes, it can take away the creative process. But if you use technology to challenge students, it can do the opposite. For example, coding platforms that let students design their own games, or even AI tools that help them brainstorm and prototype ideas, those actually build creativity. It's about shifting the focus from using technology to simply consume content to using it as a way to create something new. When students use technology to express their own ideas, that's when it truly inspires people.
Thank you, Mr. AZRUL, for a great opinion on the technology itself. Let's take a final moment to recap the key point from each of the experts before we close. First point is, Sofiyyah, as a student, presented technology as a double-edged sword, a powerful tool for creation that requires conscious effort to avoid dependency. From parent side, Umi highlighted the struggle to manage screen time and the importance of preserving offline activities that build patience and focus in their child. From educator side, our teacher Dania also the decline in originality and critical thinking in their classroom, linking it to over-reliance on quick online answer. From employer side, Hana stated that while useful efficiency over-reliance on tech hinders the adaptability and innovative problem solving needed in the workforce. From tech developer, AZRUL affirmed that technology is an amplifier of human creativity, not a replacement for it, as it lacks the capacity of genuine innovation. So, with the final verdict, technology itself is natural. Its impact on the creativity is determined entirely by the how we choose to use it. The goal is not to reject the advancement, but to master it. We must champion a balanced approach using technology as a launchpad for exploration, while firstly protecting the human capacity for original thought, critical thinking, and imaginative play. Thank you all. Now the forum is concluded, and the forum watchers. Thank you for watching. See you at the next view.
Bye.
Tambah urusan, terima jawab kenyataan. Sekarang orang cuma
y'all pulled up on me, I would've seen y'all niggas outside. Yo head, hands behind your head, do it like. Yo head, hands behind your head, do it like.
Dekat dengan Fatin, jom kita simbang.
Suki da yo. Watashi, suki da na.
As a double-edged sword. 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 Oh, sword. Okay. See. For our single mom, Umi.
You could do so. You could.
For efficiency.
You could do so. You could.
Adaptability.
You could do so. You could.
Thank you.